The most feared names in game show history are back. James, the High Roller Holzhauer, Brad, the Buzzsaw Rudder, Brandon, the Lightning Bolt Blackwell, Buzzy, the Stunner Cohen, and the Queen, Victoria Gross. Tonight, can these three amateurs team up and take down one of the masters of the game? The chase is on.
To the chase. I'm Sarah Haynes. Now, life is full of tough decisions. Do I go to the gym at 6 a.m.? Whose parents should we spend the holidays with? Hair up or down? But these three challengers only have one decision to make. How much will they risk to beat a chaser for the chance to win hundreds of thousands of dollars? If they make the right choices, they're in for a huge payday. So let's meet them. Say hello to Tracy, David, and Tanya. Welcome to each one of you. Now, the way this works is one by one, each contestant will play the cash builder to earn money for their team. Then they take that money to the board and go one-on-one against the chaser to try to make it to the bank. The players who succeed will team up in the final chase. And if they can outrun the chaser one more time, they're gonna leave here with a whole lot of money. But it's the chaser's job to try to catch you. So which chaser will they be playing against tonight? In a battle of the brains, this elite intellectual will not rest until she is victorious. Royal Court is in session. All rise. It's the Queen. Are you ready to play this team?
I'm here to do what queens rule and reign.
I love that. And as always, the chasers are in the lounge, keeping a close eye on the action, so we can say hi to them. Hi, guys.
Ahoy.
They have learned to play with that hello a little bit. Now, Tracy, you are up first to play the cash builder. Now, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I work in diversity for a large tech company. My husband's also in tech, and between us, we have 3 girls.
And, oh my gosh, you guys once went to a nude beach to read.
Everyone was very cordial, as long as we kept our eyes on our books. I complimented a lady on her hat, because that was all she was wearing, and it was a great day.
Oh my gosh, I love that. You also are a member of Mensa?
I was. That sounds impressive. Thank you.
That is impressive.
Thank you.
We're about to see just how impressive you are, because we're gonna play the cash builder.
Okay.
We're gonna put 1 minute on the clock, $10,000 for each correct answer. Are you ready?
I am.
Good luck. Your time starts now. The CDC's 5-a-day program encourages people to eat more fruits and what?
Vegetables?
Correct. A Schilling test once checked a person's absorption of what vitamin?
D?
B12. What neckwear got its name from an exclusive 19th century English horse race?
Ascot.
Correct. Navajo code talkers called what type of vessel bashlo, meaning iron fish?
Submarine.
Correct. What actor's 2022 death was announced by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the Bahamas?
Sidney Poitier?
Correct. In 2021, Algeria became the last country in the world to stop selling what kind of gasoline?
Diesel?
Leaded. What Shakespeare character lends her name to a narrow balcony style?
Pass.
Juliet. Nephrite is the more common but less valuable type of what mineral?
Gold.
Jade. What forbidden Brazilian dance means slap in Portuguese?
Lambada?
Correct. HD is the stock ticker symbol for what U.S. retailer?
Home Depot?
Correct. Right under the buzzer. Time is up. That was 6 correct answers, which is $60,000.
Awesome.
But it's not yours just yet. It is time to face the chaser. Victoria, what'd you think of that cash builder?
It was great, wasn't it? You had a lot of really tough answers, and a lot of the ones you missed were tough, too.
Thank you.
Yes, so we're gonna put that $60,000 right up on that board. What would you do if you won money here today?
2 things. First, Dodger season tickets are a bucket list item.
Oh, okay.
And secondly, I've been to Disneyland, and I never got to go to Club 33. And so I'd love to get a membership to Club 33 at Disneyland.
Okay, I like this. So I'm gonna ask you and the chaser the same multiple choice questions. For each correct answer, you're gonna move 1 step down this board closer to the bank. But if the chaser gets it right, she also moves 1 step down the board. And if she catches you before you're able to bank that money, we'd have to say goodbye to the money, and we'd have to say goodbye to you.
Okay.
Now, you can play for what you earned in that cash builder, which is impressive. $60,000. You're gonna be 5 steps away from the bank, and the chaser is 3 steps behind you. Or you can play it just a little safer, take 1 step down that board and closer to the bank, and the chaser will make a lower offer of...
In honor of Club 33, $3,300.
$3,300. Okay, now with that lower offer, you will only be 4 steps from the bank, and the chaser is a whole 4 steps behind you. But if you came to play today, you can go a little bigger if you'd like, and our chaser will make a higher offer of...
How about an LA Dodgers duffel bag full of $175,000?
$175,000 big ones? That's a lot of money. Now, playing for that amount will have you 6 steps away from the bank, and Victoria, as kind as she is, will only be 2 steps behind you. So where's your head right now?
I feel pressure to, because I'm first, stick around, so I'm gonna stick with the 60.
Okay.
No, that's the wrong way to think about it.
I'm here to say, on behalf of Brad Rutter and Brandon Blackwell, always take the high offer.
For $60,000, the chase is on. Here is your first question. Breathtaking to behold, a cenote is something you'd most likely see while doing which of these activities? Scuba diving, rock climbing, or bird watching? Chaser locked in, Tracy locked in. Tracy, you went with rock climbing.
Yeah, when the word came up, I associate it with caves and
Okay.
rocks, so that's
Okay.
where I went.
Okay. Is the correct answer rock climbing? Oh, scuba diving, okay. So we're not gonna be moving that money just yet. Did you know this one?
So I believe they're caused by volcanic calderas, and they're kind of known as like a hole in the ocean. So I knew it was scuba diving.
So our chaser will be coming 1 step down the board.
Okay.
Here's your next question. The so-called knuckle method is a handy trick for remembering which of the following: number of days in each month, multiples of 9, or the first 10 digits of pi. Chaser locked in, Tracy locked in. Tracy, you went with the first 10 digits of pi.
Number of days in each month didn't make sense because the mnemonic I know for that is different, and multiples of 9 didn't make sense. So I went with first 10 digits of pi.
We'll get this over with. Is the correct answer the first 10 digits of pi? Number of days in each month, so we won't move that money just yet. But did you know this one, Victoria?
Yeah, it did say number of days in each month.
Because I think it's like January,
February,
March, April, May.
It's like the depressions are the months with less than 31.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So our chaser is coming 1 step down the board. That puts her only 1 step behind you, but we got another chance to move this with the next question. At only 25 years old, who is the youngest winner of the Council of Fashion Designers of America Fashion Icon Award? Is it Kendall Jenner, Zendaya, or Anya Taylor-Joy? Tracy locked in, Chaser locked in. Tracy, you went with Zendaya.
I'm a fashion girl. I love Zendaya.
I can tell.
She works with La Roche, who is an amazing stylist. But I think Zendaya won it, I believe.
Okay. Is the correct answer Zendaya? That is correct, Tracy. The fashion's coming in handy. $60,000 moves 1 step down the board. Did you know this one, Victoria?
Zendaya felt right, so that's what I went with.
Okay, so our chaser's also coming 1 step down the board. She has her knitting needles out.
Oh, no.
Yes, that's what I think every time I look at them as well. So maybe don't focus on those right now. She's 1 step behind you, so we have to keep this money moving.
Okay.
Here's your next question. Which of these snacks was accidentally invented by an 11-year-old? Popsicle, Raisinets, or Rice Krispies treat? Tracy locked in. Chaser locked in. Tracy, you went with a popsicle.
I think the story is that someone left them outside accidentally and they froze and then it was an invention. So that's the story I know.
So is the correct answer a popsicle? Yes, that is correct, Tracy. One step more down this board. Victoria, did you know this one?
So I knew the same story you did, but I thought it was an adult, and I said Raisinets.
Oh, okay. So our chaser's not moving down the board, which gives us a little room to breathe here. Here's your next question. Capgras syndrome is characterized by delusions that the people you know are what? Deceased, imposters, or talking behind your back? Tracy locked in. Our chaser locked in. You went with imposters.
Imposters seem most likely of the three, although people you know are deceased is actually pretty interesting.
That feels like Sixth Sense-ish.
Yeah, I'm interested to see this answer just for learning.
Okay. Is the correct answer imposters? Yes, Tracy. $60,000, one step down the board. You are only 2 steps away from banking this money and moving on to the final chase. Did you know this one?
So I was a little nervous when I saw these answers come up because there's a similarly named, like, Cotard syndrome. So I had to really think through which was which, but I did end up in the right place and say imposters.
Okay, so Victoria's coming down this board one more step. That puts her only 2 steps behind you, but you're only 2 steps away from the bank. Here's your next question. After its chief engineer died suddenly, which of these landmarks was completed by his son and daughter-in-law? Was it the Great Wall of China, the Panama Canal, or the Brooklyn Bridge? Chaser locked in. Tracy locked in. Tracy, you went with Brooklyn Bridge.
My first thought was a bridge, and then the bridge I was expecting wasn't up there. So
you're like, I'll take any bridge.
Just a bridge.
Okay, is the correct answer the Brooklyn Bridge? That's correct, Tracy. $60,000 coming one more step down the board. Only one small step from the bank and moving on to the final chase. Did you know this one? Because you locked him pretty quickly.
I did. I knew the engineer was John Augustus Roebling, and I knew the story of his death, so I said Brooklyn Bridge.
Okay, so our chaser's coming one step down this board, and here's your question. The groan-worthy food pun, "Let's give 'em something to taco bout," is a play on a hit song by what artist? Is it Sheryl Crow, Bonnie Raitt, or Stevie Nicks? Chaser locked in, Tracy locked in. Tracy, Bonnie Raitt.
It's Bonnie Raitt. I 100% know this song.
Okay, to get this $60,000 in the bank, show us the answer is Bonnie Raitt. The final chase. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You can go celebrate with the team.
Wow, that was,
Tracy.
you know, she had Victoria right, breathing down the neck, and then just
Head away there.
Yeah.
You need that one?
You saw me dancing in my chair, right?
I know, and
Yeah.
that song, I can't get it out
It's
of
a
my
great
head.
song, yeah.
Okay. Can David take on the queen, or is it checkmate when he faces Her Majesty? Find out next on The Chase. To the chase. Tracy was almost in the queen's clutches, but she banked $60,000. And now it's David's turn. Come play the cash builder. Hi, David.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a mystery writer, and I participate in online trivia leagues. So trivia is my life, and that's why I'm here.
Now, you also do Kung Fu.
Yes. My son, when he was about 10, saw the movie Kung Fu Panda and wanted to do Kung Fu. And then after watching him do it for a little while, I said, that looks like fun, and here I am.
That's a good dad. We're going to put some of your trivia to the test right now. We're going to put 1 minute on the clock.
Okay.
Good luck, David.
Thank you.
Your time starts now. What does the G stand for in the Showbiz Awards acronym EGOT?
Grammy.
Correct. The Blue Lake sacred to the Taos Pueblo people is located in what U.S. state?
Nevada.
New Mexico. First Lady Claudia Alta Taylor Johnson was better known by
Lady
what?
Bird.
Correct. Actor Elliot Page has a tattoo of EP followed by what 2-word phrase from a 1982 movie?
Pass.
Phone home. During the Cold War, Checkpoint Charlie was a famous crossing point at what landmark?
The Berlin Wall.
Correct. Added to dictionary.com in 2021, what Z word is slang for an attractive man?
Pass.
Zaddy. For its US release, the original Nintendo Game Boy came packed with what video game?
Duck Hunt.
Tetris. White Lightning is a brand of what 5-letter waterproof filler and sealant?
Pass.
Caulk. What is the German word for a short recurring musical phrase used to create mood in film?
Motif.
More specific.
Leitmotif.
Correct. A beloved Edward Packard book series lets kids choose your... Time's up. That question was, let kids choose your own what? The answer was adventure, but the time was up. 4 correct answers. $40,000. But you can't take it home just yet. It's time to face the chaser. Okay, Victoria, what'd you think of that cash builder?
I think you wanted more going in, but there were some tough questions in there.
It looks a lot easier at home.
Oh, that's always the case. I could have told you that. Now we're gonna put $40,000 up on the board. What would you do if you won money here today?
I would go back to school to earn my black belt, and I've been wanting to do that for a long time.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so you can play for that $40,000 that you earned in the cash builder, and you'll be 5 steps away from the bank. Or you can play it just a tad safer, take one more step down the board, and get a lower offer of?
This offer is more wax off than wax on. $10,000.
Okay, so $10,000 with that offer, you're only 4 steps from the bank. But if you are here to play big, you might want to go with the higher offer of?
Hire Chuck Norris to tell you Chuck Norris jokes. $150,000.
Whoa, $150,000. That is a lot of money on the board.
It is.
Do it!
Now you're warmed up.
I hate sitting at home and saying, you know, go for the big offer, but I just really want to get back there, so I'm going to stick with 40.
Oh. Well, David, for $40,000, the chase is on. Here's your first question. Originally called La Conquête du Monde, what board game was invented by Oscar-winning filmmaker Albert Lamouris? Was it Clue, Battleship, or Risk? You both locked in very quickly. David, you went with Risk.
My wife always rags me about my French pronunciations. Conquest of the world, so Risk.
Your wife would love me then. Okay, show us the correct answer is Risk. Yes. Good way to start this round. Bring that $40,000 one step down the board. Did you know this one? Because you went pretty quickly, too.
Yeah, David nailed the explanation. Absolutely Risk.
Okay, so our chaser is coming one step down the board as well. Here's your next question. Scotch bonnet peppers and allspice are common components of what marinade? Is it jerk, adobo, or chimichurri? Chaser locked in. David locked in. David, you went with jerk.
I know Scotch bonnet peppers are spicy. Jerk is kind of spicy as well. I don't believe adobo is nearly that spicy, so I went with jerk.
Okay, is the correct answer jerk? Yes.
Yeah, he's motioning the money down. Like, you can't do that with the middle offer.
$40,000 coming one step down the board. I know you knew this one.
I did, in fact, know this one. I'm sure I've made it. It was jerk.
Okay, so Victoria comes one step down the board as well. Now, you are 3 steps away from banking $40,000, and your next question is coming up, and the chase continues. Welcome back to the chase. David is 3 steps away from banking $40,000, and the chaser is 3 steps behind him. So we're gonna jump right back in.
All right.
Here's your next question. An innovation that dates back to the Roman Empire, the astrolabe was once called by Smithsonian Magazine the original what? Smartphone, Tesla, or Kindle? You both locked in at the same time. David, you went with smartphone.
I seem to recall the astrolabe was something that allowed people to get information, so I went with that.
Okay. Is the correct answer smartphone? Yes, that is correct. $40,000, one step down the board. Again, the speed of entry on your answer. I'm gonna guess you knew this one too?
Well, not for sure, because an astrolabe is a navigation device. But the one that has maps is a smartphone, so that's where I went.
Okay, so you got there. Our chaser's coming one step down the board. You are only 2 steps away from banking this money and moving on to the final chase. Your next question. Thought to ward off evil spirits and bring good luck, giant lifelike penises are painted everywhere in what country? Bhutan, Azerbaijan, Burkina Faso. Chaser locked in. David locked in. You went with Burkina Faso.
Not exactly something that I've studied.
Burkina Faso or the lifelike penises?
That one.
Okay.
But this sounded something more African to me than Asian, so I went that way.
Okay. Is the correct answer Burkina Faso? Bhutan. So we are not moving the money just yet. Did you know this one, Victoria?
I actually did. Not sure how, but I absolutely knew it was Bhutan.
I don't want to know how at
You know,
this
I
point.
don't actually think I do either.
Okay. So our chaser is coming one step down the board. That puts her only 2 steps behind you. Here's your next question. What Washington, D.C. Politico had the vanity license plate H2O Gate? Was it Lee Atwater, G. Gordon Liddy, or Vernon Jordan? David locked in, Chaser locked in. David, you went with G. Gordon Liddy.
As I recall, G. Gordon Liddy was kind of the mastermind behind the whole thing, and he kind of boasted about what he was in his involvement, so.
Okay, is the correct answer G. Gordon Liddy? Yes! $40,000, 1 step down the board, only 1 step away from that bank.
I feel David's got some good momentum going. He's gonna bank this money and hate himself for not taking that 150.
Did you know
That's
this
right.
one?
I also said G. Gordon Liddy.
Okay, Victoria's coming down that board right behind you. Here is your next question. Traditionally used in a pre-wedding event, Mendy is a type of what? Hallucinogenic, adhesive, or dye? Chaser locked in, David locked in. David, you went with dye.
We talk about henna. It's kind of a temporary dye to make up women in Indian and subcontinent traditions.
You feeling good?
Yeah.
For $40,000, is the correct answer dye? You did it! Correct, David. $40,000 goes into the bank. You move on to the final chase. Congratulations. You can go celebrate with your team. Victoria, did you know that one?
Yeah, David nailed it. It's a henna tattoo used on like the hands.
Okay, Victoria, you have one more chance to catch this team because it is now Tanya's turn to come play the cash broker. Welcome, Tanya.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm a PhD student getting my PhD in rhetoric, but my research centers on television and how television constructs meaning in our world.
Oh, wow, that's a fascinating study.
Yeah, I love it.
Now, you also have a dislike of birds.
Birds are creepy. Their bones are hollow, feathers are weird, those eyes bulge. They outnumber us, and they will figure that out.
Okay, we're gonna put 1 minute on the clock. Are you ready?
I am.
Okay, good luck, Tanya. Your time starts now. For his titanic work on environmental awareness, a tree species is named for what actor?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Correct. In 2021, Marvel Comics unveiled Aaron Fisher, the first openly gay version of what superhero?
Superman.
Captain America. What is often referred to as London's second busiest airport?
Galway.
Gatwick Airport. What is the title of the first novel in the best-selling trilogy by E.L. James?
50 Shades of Grey.
Correct. What chocolate-flavored coffee gets its name from a city in Yemen?
Chicory.
Mocha. The game for your whole brain was a slogan used by what board game?
Pass.
Cranium. What Star Wars character does Donald Glover portray in the prequel Solo?
Han Solo.
Lando Calrissian. How many consonants come between the first 2 vowels in the alphabet?
2.
3. What Just a Friend rapper was known as the Clown Prince of Hip Hop? Time's up. That answer was Biz Markie. That was 2 correct answers. That's $20,000. $20,000. But you can't cash out just yet. It's time to face the chaser.
I think this is prime high offer territory because...
High or low, at least.
So we are going to put $20,000 up on that board. What would you do if you won money here today?
My car is very old, and it's time for a new one. I maybe want to go past a tape deck in my life. So...
Move on from the cassettes.
Exactly.
Okay, so you can play for that $20,000, or you can play it a little safer and take one step closer to the bank, and the queen will make a lower offer of...
Well, I don't think this could be a worse car. $5,000.
Okay, so this is your team's last chance to build the bank, so you may also want to play for more money, and our chaser will make a high offer of...
You could get whatever SUV you want and hire Exhibit to pimp it out, $250,000.
Take that! Take that money!
No-brainer. No-brainer.
Go up. I want to see two people goading her into that high offer or nothing.
Now, I know this is a big decision, so we're going to find out how much money is at stake when we come back on The Chase. You can talk it over with your team right now.
Wow.
Y'all, you saw what happened over there.
We'd like to have you around at the end.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
whatever you feel is the best way, I think that gives us our best shot.
That is some of the worst advice since somebody told me to buy pumpkin futures on November 1st.
Welcome back to The Chase. Okay, so we just saw your offers up here. You have a low offer of $5,000. You have the $20,000 you earned, and then the queen just rolled it out with $250,000. Where's your head right now?
I mean, it's tempting.
It's so tempting.
Be tempted. Give into it.
I think the queen is having maybe a very good day.
She only has good days.
I know. So I think I'm gonna stick with the 20.
Okay.
How do they take the worst offer every single time? It's incredible.
I don't know how you turn down $250,000.
Okay, Tanya, for $20,000, The Chase is on. Here's your first question. Supposedly, how he gestured with a cigarette, whose two-fingered pointing style is used by many of his company's employees today? Walt Disney, Sam Walton, or Colonel Sanders? Chaser locked in? Tanya locked in? You went with Walt Disney.
Yeah, I just remember him smoking quite a bit, so that's what I went for.
Okay. Is the correct answer Walt Disney? That's correct, Tanya. $20,000 coming one step down the board. Did you know this one, Victoria?
Yeah, I knew the answer was Walt Disney.
Okay. So our chaser is coming one step down the board. Here's your next question. Even though none of them are people, Time's Person of the Year award has gone to all but which of these things? The computer, the planet Earth, or the birth control pill? Chaser locked in? Tanya locked in? You went with the planet Earth.
I remember the computer, actually, so I moved that.
Okay.
I just went sort of with my gut.
Okay, is the correct answer the planet Earth?
I'm gonna need a second.
Take that confidence, take your second. Okay.
That's the 1988 winner. It was the Endangered Earth, the computer, the machine of the year in 1982.
Tell me more.
That's the whole thing. I can give you the entire list of winners if you want.
Okay, we're not moving the money just yet. Did you know this one, Victoria?
I knew this was the birth control pill.
Okay, so our chaser is coming one step down the board. She is 2 steps behind you, so now we just need to get it moving.
Yeah.
Okay, here's your next question. According to the Canadian Lung Association, about how many breaths does the average adult take per day? Is it 2,000, 22,000, or 220,000? Tanya locked in? Chaser locked in? Okay, you went, Tanya, with 22,000. Have you ever counted all the breaths you take in a day?
No, and I feel like if we counted today, it would definitely be the largest number. But,
Ever.
But I went with my gut on it.
Does the average adult take 22,000 breaths? Yes. The gut is serving you well, so are your lungs. You got the breaths right. Okay, $20,000 comes one step down the board. Did you know this one, Victoria?
So, I mean, I divided by 24 and tried to estimate, would it be closer to 100 breaths an hour, would it be closer to 1,000 breaths an hour, and I said 2,000.
Oh, okay.
22,000 is not the number that's going to be sticking in Tanya's head. It's 250,000.
So our chaser is not coming down the board right now. Here's your next question. Which of these fruits could humble brag that botanically it's also a berry? An apple, a cherry, or a banana? Tanya locked in, chaser locked in. You went with banana.
Yeah, I think I've read that somewhere. I'm going with my gut now. I'm going on instincts.
Okay. Is the correct answer a banana? You did it. That is correct. $20,000 coming one more step down the board. You are only 2 steps away from banking that money for your team and moving on to the final chase. Victoria, do you know this?
An apple is a pome and a cherry is a drupe. With that left banana.
Okay, so our chaser is coming one step down the board. Here's your next question. Allodoxophobia is the irrational fear of what? Opinions, sweat, or long pants? Chaser locked in. Tanya locked in. Tanya, you went with sweat.
If I had to guess one, I was going to go with the one that I might be rationally afraid of.
Okay. Is the correct answer sweat? Opinions. Okay, so we're not able to move the money this time. Did you know this one, Victoria?
Yeah, this is what the root dox means. So if you think that's like orthodox, that means like right thinking. I went with opinions.
Okay, so our chaser is coming one step down the board, so we just got to get that money moving. Your next question. In German politics, a colorful alliance between the Social Democrats, Free Democrats, and Greens is fittingly called the what? Starbucks Coalition, Christmas Coalition, or Traffic Light Coalition? Chaser locked in. Tanya locked in. Tanya, you went with Traffic Light Coalition.
Yes. I just assumed that the Free Democrats or the Social Democrats might have yellow, since yellow is a color in Germany's flag.
Okay. Is the correct answer Traffic Light Coalition? That is correct. $20,000 coming one more step down the board. You are only one step away from banking that money and moving on to the final chase. Victoria, do you know this one?
So Germany recently has a new prime minister, and a lot of the coverage of him has mentioned him as being the head of a traffic light coalition. So I knew this was correct.
Okay, so Victoria comes one more step down the board. Here is your next question. Contestants on RuPaul's Drag Race trade insults with each other when what building is open? The hospital, the library, or the museum? You both locked in quickly. Have you watched it?
I watched it yesterday, and I would just like to say in RuPaul voice, the library is open.
Okay! So for $20,000 and a ticket to the final chase, show us the correct answer is library. $20,000 in the bank. You move on to the final chase. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You can go celebrate with your team. Did you know that one?
For the record, I was all over it.
You were all over
That's
it.
right.
Okay. Well, the team's $120,000 is on the line, but the queen is ready to defend her crown. It's all going down in the final chase. Wowzers. Welcome back. Tracy, David, and Tanya have made it through to the final chase, and there's $120,000 in the bank, but they can't bring that money home just yet. You have to outrun the chaser one last time. You're gonna have 2 minutes to answer as many questions as you can.
I think this team could put up a 16 or 17.
I think they're better than they showed in the Cash Builder. I
feel like they have good balance. That might help.
Yeah.
Each correct answer will put you one step in front of the chaser. Then she'll get 2 minutes to try and catch you. if you get caught, you will sadly leave here with nothing. But if you manage to outrun the chaser, then $120,000 is yours to share. So I'm gonna let you guys decide which question set you're gonna do, A or B.
We chose A.
So the queen will play set B, and because 3 of you made it through to the final chase, you're gonna get a 3-step head start, which is a big advantage over the chaser. Are you ready, team?
Yes.
Okay, for $120,000, the final chase is on. Let's put 2 minutes on the clock. Good luck. Your time starts now. The mascot for the 2022 Beijing Olympics, Bing Duen Duen, is what type of animal?
Tiger.
Panda. Also called Venetians, rainbow cookies are traditionally made to resemble what nation's flag?
Italy.
Correct. Wawa coffee is the preferred beverage of Kate Winslet's character in what TV series?
Mayor of Easttown.
Correct.
Mayor of Easttown.
The only species of penguin that lives north of the equator is native to what island group?
Galapagos.
Correct. Calgary claims to host the world's richest tournament style of what cowboy competition?
Rodeo.
Correct. The constellation Lyra represents what musical instrument?
Harp.
Correct. The art of childhood is a slogan used by what art supply company?
Crayola.
Correct. Juniper berries are used when making what hard liquor?
Gin.
Correct. In the 1939 film The Wizard of Oz, what character's first line is oil can?
The Tin Man.
Correct. What ballet move is a French word meaning to whirl about?
Pirouette.
Correct. The thyroid and pituitary glands are part of what bodily system?
Endocrine.
Correct. What writer is often called the original Carrie Bradshaw?
Candace Bushnell.
Correct. What Mars candy bar comes in left and right varieties?
Twix.
Correct. Worn by astronauts, a G suit has a G that stands for what?
Gravity.
Correct. In 2022, the game Wordle was acquired by what newspaper?
The New York Times.
Correct. What famous author was buried in Tarzana, California?
Edgar Rice Burroughs.
Correct. Alfonso and Kalamata are 2 varieties of what food?
Olives.
Correct. What 3-word phrase appears on Illinois' standard license plate?
Land of Lincoln.
Correct. What is the largest peninsula in the world?
The Yucatan.
Arabian Peninsula. A torn meniscus is a common injury of what joint?
Knee.
Correct. What type of golf club is often called a Texas wedge?
Sand wedge.
Putter. Time's up. Wow.
Oh, that's amazing.
Okay, unfortunately, David buzzed in on the Mayor of Easttown question, and Tanya, you answered, so we have to remove a step, but you got 17 correct. With your head start, that means 20 steps ahead of the chaser.
That is a huge number. Yeah.
Victoria's got her work cut out for her.
20 is one of the bigger numbers that we have ever seen here. That was a great performance, y'all.
Absolutely. Now, is 20 steps enough for the team to leave with their riches, or is the queen sending them home as paupers? See who reigns supreme when we continue the final chase. Welcome back. We are in the middle of the final chase. Tracy, David, and Tanya are 20 steps ahead of the chaser, and there's $120,000 at stake. And now it's the chaser's turn to try and catch you. If she does, sadly, you would lose it all, but you have one big advantage. Each time she misses a question, we stop the clock. You have a chance to answer that same question. If you get it correct, you push the chaser back, and those pushbacks can make all the difference in winning this game. Queen, $120,000 is on the line. Are you ready to catch them?
I am absolutely ready, Sarah.
Okay. The final chase is on. Let's put 2 minutes on the clock. Chaser, your time starts now. According to Disney lore, what dog is named after a discovery by astronomer Clyde?
Pluto.
Correct. What U.S. president was allegedly described by a relative as 2/3 mush and 1/3 Eleanor?
Franklin Roosevelt.
Correct. Though better known for his pendulum, what French physicist?
Foucault.
Correct. What Harry Potter character shares his name with a word once used to describe a bumblebee?
Pass.
Stop the clock. What Harry Potter character shares his name with a word once used to describe a bumblebee?
Dumbledore.
The correct answer is Dumbledore. So you'll be pushing the chaser back one step. 18 steps to catch the team. Your time starts again. Now, what spiritual leader reportedly said that his glasses gave him the vision to free India?
Gandhi.
Correct. In 1923, siblings Harry, Albert, Jack, and Sam founded what film company?
Warner Brothers.
Correct. What tree-dwelling mammal can hold its breath for 40 minutes?
Sloth.
Correct. What was the first U.S. city to host an Olympic Games?
St. Louis.
Correct. What does the P in television broadcaster PBS stand for?
Public.
Correct. Your eyelids cilia are more commonly known as what?
Eyelashes.
Correct. The 4 C's of diamonds are cut, color, clarity, and what?
Carrot.
Correct. Brimstone is an obsolete name for what chemical element?
Sulfur.
Correct. What is the only 3-letter word in this question?
The.
Correct. What famous TV family kept a Snorkosaurus as a pet?
The Munsters.
Stop the clock. What famous TV family kept a Snorkosaurus as a pet?
The Flintstones.
The correct answer is the Flintstones. You'll be pushing the chaser back one step, 10 steps to catch the team. Your time starts again now. What biological units were named for rooms in a monastery?
Cell.
Correct. What metal did the Inca refer to as sweat of the sun?
Gold.
Correct. A centibillionaire has a net worth of at least how much?
100 billion.
Correct. Sky Miles is the frequent flyer.
Delta.
Correct. What Rossini opera tells the story of a Swiss marksman?
William Tell.
Correct. How many sides does a trapezoid have?
4.
Correct. Carlton Banks is the middle child on what classic sitcom?
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Correct. Oxheart and beefsteak are 2 varieties of what produce?
Tomato.
Correct. The U.S. Steel Tower is what city's tallest building?
Pittsburgh.
Correct. A septuagenarian is at least how old?
70 years.
Correct.
Oh! What a catch! What a
money.
catch!
I am so sorry. You have been caught by the chaser, but that was such a solid showing on this final chase, and you even used the pushbacks. We're gonna have to say goodbye to that $120,000, and unfortunately, the chase is over. You caught the team. How are you feeling right now?
You guys played fantastic. All 3 of you made it home. You put up a huge number. You should feel great about how you did.
Bravo. Now, the chaser has taken down yet another team. Remember, the only way to win is to outrun your competition and never look back. See you next time on The Chase.
Holy cow.
Wow, that was nice.
They did great. Yeah, she did better.
That's it.
That was impressive, Victoria. Very impressive.